So this is going to be podcast episode 2, and in this episode, we're going to talk about what's going on in the current economic market and how you can protect yourself going forward. So let's start. So I don't know if you all have seen, but there has been a recent jump, probably within January 2023, whenever you're seeing this, of big major companies doing layoffs. And the layoffs aren't just, small in small increments. They have been layoffs of 10,000 a piece per company, and some of them have been up to 20,000. And when you think about it, 20,000 is a large amount of people. Now, caveat to that, these companies do employ on average, about 150,000 people. But to lay off 20,000 people is not a light feat. And this is coming from an inside source. And because you're here, I just want to preface this by saying, because you're here, you're going to be able to be on the right side of history, so I don't want you to worry. But for those out there who are not aware, this is what it is. And it's coming from an inside source. So what these companies realize is that this AI is going to allow them to pretty much be a lot more efficient. And what I mean by that is they will be able to have one employee do the work of 3 in particular industries. And what that means for the mass population is that in order to be able to survive in your job, particularly in tech, you have to become more effective, more valuable. Simply put, coming from an inside source, the main jobs that are going to be cut are these cushy little tech jobs. And what I mean by that is the jobs I don't know if you all have TikTok, and if you've seen TikTok, you'll see there's a lot of videos, and you can actually look this up on YouTube. There's a lot of videos that are day in the life as a product manager at Facebook or at Google, blah, blah, blah. And what you will see is a lot of people, and it's pretty funny to me, but they will go to work, and what they'll do is they'll go get breakfast and lunch, and then they'll go do yoga, then they'll work for 2 hours, then go out to lunch with their coworkers, then stop and ride a bike, and then they'll go back to work and work for quote-unquote work for a few more hours, then they'll go out to dinner with the coworkers, and then go get some ice cream, and then they'll go home. And there has been numerous videos like that, so we know they're not fake. But basically what they're showing is that these people aren't, I don't want to say needed, but they aren't worth their weight in gold, right? And because you're here, you're, to whoever you work, whether you work for yourself or an employer, you're going to be worth your weight in gold because of what you know. And with those people in the past, they've just been able to skate along in this group of 30 people and just do a couple slides and PowerPoints per day and a couple emails, and they're getting paid $150,000 a year plus, just to do this minuscule work, and what the reason the companies have been paying that much is because they have a thing called revenue per employee, right? And let's say if your company makes a company like Google per se, let's say they make 30 billion per year. And I know this is a large number, so it's gonna be hard to wrap your mind around. But let's say they make 30 billion per year, whether they have 100,000 employees or 120,000, it doesn't really make much of a difference to their bottom line, right? So, they just, I don't want to say they willy-nilly hire, but it doesn't really let's say affect them as much as it would a small company. And each hire is a huge deal, versus with these mega large corporations, they don't really, what's the difference between 5,000 new hires versus 10,000? There's not really much of a difference. So that's why they've been doing it, and they're realizing that going forward, AI is going to make everything more efficient. Now, they're not going to cut the entire workforce, but there will be more layoffs. I will tell you that for sure. But this also will open up new opportunities for new people to step into new roles and, become more valuable and do more and essentially grow, right? Whether it's your business or um, you work for a corporation. So what I'm gonna do is just show you a little bit of the articles I've been seeing, and these articles have come out today specifically, and since they've come out, it has been other larger companies who have been doing layoffs. In this case, IBM and SAP. I'm not sure who SAP is, but IBM is a major large computer manufacturer, pretty much, and they're on the same level as Google, Microsoft, Apple, Google, etc. So as you can see, this is from the Dow chief executive. We're taking these actions to optimize our cost structure, right? And like I say, what they're realizing is it's not one. We're heading into a recession, right? Currently, as we speak, and it's not so much that the recession that's going to hurt them, but they also now they can live through this recession and also do very well. I just want to make that clear. But they understand that there's a shift that has recently come out, and they're going to start implementing AI to do many of the mundane tasks that people have been doing, and they're going to hire people who can do and know how to do these tasks and use the AI to generate what they need to generate. So because you're here, again, you are aware of this, and you also want to, make yourself a lot more valuable to your organization, so that you will be definitely get promoted. Pretty much, you're not going to be able to stay in the same place because you know more information, you know how to use the technology, and you're aware of what's going on. So if you can become more valuable, which we will show you, or which you have learned already, you'll be able to do really well. So, let's say currently we're in a recession. A lot of people are slowing hires. This has been going on for a little minute. Recently start. Not all companies are in layoff mode, so this is a huge point. We used to think when AI first came out that it would take all of the blue collar jobs, like the jobs that don't require people to, or jobs that people do, right? But it actually happened in the exact reverse. It's taking away the quote unquote creative and, how do I say this? Creative and tech jobs, pretty much, or jobs that people do with a computer. Almost any job, that has to do with a computer is getting very close to almost any job being done by a computer can be done by AI twice as well, with zero opportunity cost or zero labor cost. And a lot of people, including me, I did not predict that. We used to think, oh, when AI comes, all the people who do electricians and who do this and do that, cleaning, blah blah blah, will be get taken over. But it's all of the copywriters, programmers. That's where it's heading. Now they haven't begun that yet, but because a lot of people are still, one, haven't heard of the technology, two, have only heard about it but haven't really used it, three, have used it but scarcely, four, they know how to use it but they don't know how to apply it, and you're on the fifth one where you know how to use it, you know how to apply it to your specific job, and once everyone, I would say majority of the population has not even heard of it yet, so you're way ahead if you're listening to this. But it'll get to the point where they're gonna move up to number 2, then number 3, then number 4, and once they get to number 5, they're gonna be dropping off, people along the way, and once they get to number 5, that's when it's gonna be, we're gonna enter a new world, pretty much. When AI does this, it knows how to do this for you, know how to do that. By this time, probably there will be AI physical people, like I think Elon Musk has a Tesla bot. And think about it having to have the information that's in the Tesla bot, the ChatGPT, a stronger version of ChatGPT is in the Tesla bot. Anytime you ask it a question, it'll be able to answer it to you. It'll have fingers and dexterity to actually do the work for you. And I don't, and here's the thing about that. It's going to be extremely crazy, and it sounds like a very far future, but it's going to happen a lot faster than we think. ChatGPT basically punched everyone in the face, with releasing this technology and allowing it to pretty much, be known by everyone. But like I said, as time goes on, this is going to be something that, is really going to knock everyone's socks off. Once the Tesla bot comes out, once it's entered into ChatGPT with ChatGPT technology, once it is able to give it a voice, once it understands, basic mundane tasks, laundry, this, that, it's going to be a very different world. And, sooner or later, you'll see a robot walking a dog outside. So, and like I said, it's going to happen a lot faster than people even realize. And like I say, because you're here, I'm really grateful for you, and I know you're probably grateful for me. But I want to say shout out to you truly, because you took the first steps to learn about the technology. You understand this technology is groundbreaking, and you took the steps. You actually bought a course to learn more about it. And many people who would have heard about it just say, "Oh, okay, cool technology," and going about their lives, but they don't really understand the real severity of it. And I remember when I first used ChatGPT. I first used DALL-E, and that's what kind of brought me into the sphere of AI. And I said, man, this thing is better than sliced bread. And I was going around showing my friends and people, and they was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, dude, are you not paying attention? What is this? And so after I showed them that, I'm like, dude, y'all don't even understand what's going on. So I basically stopped talking to them, like, hey, I don't care, whatever. You don't care, I don't care. And then I remember when ChatGPT came out, my mind was already blown off anyway. So I basically didn't have a mind left by the time it came out. But so it pretty much blew my mind even more, more than it was already blown. But I say that to say, the technology is moving very quickly. Right, and it's gonna move even a lot quicker than most people realize. I'm gonna show you something real quick. I think it's called Moore's Law. So pretty much, basically, what this is the right image right here. Basically, what this is basically. I'm gonna see how to explain it in a simple way. What they're trying to say is Moore's Law means that technology moves at a quicker pace, and the quicker it moves, the faster it gets, and the faster it gets, the smarter it gets, and the smarter it gets, the faster it moves, almost in like a recurring cycle. So that's why you kind of see like this hockey puck graph, where it's, technology is introduced, okay, now it got a little bit better right here, and then it got a little bit better, and it got a little bit better, and then now that it's gotten a little bit better, it's gotten even more better, and then even more better and more better, and then technology, as soon as it's going to continue to on an upward trajectory of improving itself, getting better, faster, stronger, getting better, faster, stronger, and that's going to get better, faster, stronger, and not only that, it's getting better, faster, stronger in a linear path. The time between each interval gets shorter. So from here to here, this has got, let's say, 28 billion times stronger, whatever. From here to here, in a short amount of time, it'll get 28 times stronger. And then from here to here, which is probably a week, it'll get 28 times stronger. That's the end goal. So that's what I want you all to pay attention to, is that technology now is moving at an extremely fast pace, and this is what kind of still, I don't want to say bugs me, but I kind of want to shake people, like, you don't understand what's happening. This is the first version of it, and it's before you know it, it's going to be 100 times stronger. And then a year later, it's going to be 200 times, 300 times stronger, and before you even have heard about it. So that's what's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it, but like I say, we're here. So I remember when I first tested out, I said, This is crazy, and I need to be on the right side of history. So I need to learn all of I can about this information. So and I'm glad you're here to do that. So next article. So what's been happening is most of the layoffs have been in big tech, right? And the reason big tech has been laying off a lot of people is because they understand, we get to see the public version, right? So there's a version of ChatGPT that is way stronger that they're already working on, and they're probably going to release it in, let's say, 2 years. Down ChatGPT 4, I think it's already completed. They're probably doing testing right now, but they said it was going to be released in 2 to 3 months, maybe. But there's a ChatGPT 5 that they're working on already that makes ChatGPT 4 probably look like a little toy. So that's an eye-opening thing to think about. And like I say, these people, they understand, behind the scenes of the tech that's available. And ChatGPT and OpenAI, shout out to them, they basically just said, here, we've been working on this for 7 years. Let's just release it. And that's kind of Elon Musk style, because many companies wouldn't have released that. Facebook, Google, they all have their own AI, and they've been keeping it in the vault. But Elon Musk, he's pretty much a fast moving person, and I don't think they actually wanted to release it. They probably said it's not ready, it's not this, it's not that. But he said, go ahead, release it. And they released it, and it basically took over the world pretty much. Well, not yet, but it's getting there. And so these big tech companies, they understand what's going on behind the scenes. Facebook, Meta, Amazon, Google, they all understand, and they don't really, they're not gonna see how I say this. They're not going to. This doesn't mean their business will fail. Their business will be a lot more efficient. But what it means is they will need less workers, right? And they're gonna come down to Amazon, they'll still do right. They have, warehouses that they need people to do, but they already have robots in the warehouses with the people moving the stuff around. So, they're just going to become extremely more efficient, while keeping the same margins, or even better, because they won't have workers. So that's what they're realizing. And, they're not going to just drop half their workforce, overnight, but there will be a gradual progression, as the AI gets better. And like I say, what we want to do is we want to make sure we're on the right side of history by understanding the technology and being able to show them, like, hey, I'm competent in this. I have figured out a way to make our marketing departments better. I have figured out a way to make our writing, product description, better, etc. How you know your organization. So if you can go in there and improve a simple part by either, one, introducing it to them, saying, hey, I took a course, I learned all about it, and this is the ways I figured how we can help our industry. And if you don't know how you can help your industry, ask ChatGPT. Say, hey, I work for let's just say, marketing company, for example. We have 50 employees. We do this for this market. What are some of the ways what are some things I can tell my employer about, I wouldn't say ChatGPT, but because ChatGPT sometimes doesn't understand itself, so I don't know, whatever. But I would say, what are some of the ways I can tell my employer about the AI technology that is out now that will help me to look better to my boss, etc., or something like that. And it will give you a step-by-step game plan of exactly what you can approach them with and say, hey, this is 1, 2, 3 steps of how we can improve, and they'll say, wow, yeah, okay, here, you're in charge of that department. That's how it works. So that's how it's going to work, to simply put. And the last article I want to show you all is, it says, Google fires 31 massage therapists amid mass layoffs. So, you may say 31 massage therapists. What does that really mean? And the hidden meaning behind that is the jobs that were very cushy, and people come to work and not do anything, and they go do yoga at the job, and then they sleep in the office, blah blah blah. Those days are going to be over with. The people who are really going to, I don't want to say survive this thing, but survive this thing, are going to be the ones who are doing real work and providing real value to the team. You're not just going to be able to write a couple emails per day and collect $100,000 check. But if you know how to use the AI, you'll be able to collect a $300,000 check, because the company won't have to pay those other slack offers any money. So, it's going to be a win situation for us, but the other guys out there who don't want to learn and those that are not taking this serious, kudos to them, sayonara. But, because you're here and you want to understand about this, you're going to do just fine and be able to collect the leftover money that they have out there, if you get what I'm saying. So, so Google, like I say, laid off about 12,000 employees. I think it was about 18,000. I don't know when this article was written. But, like I say, they understand what's really going on. And, they're sending out the notices, before conducting a mass layoff. So, again, the layoffs are going to be, they're gonna be start picking up, and what we have to do is just be a little bit wary about how we can, make ourselves more valuable. So, again, there's gonna be a little bit. We have more time. Like I say, depending on when you got in this course. Right now it's January 23. You have time to make yourself of value, and I believe the real consequences of this AI are going to be around maybe the end of 24, December 2024-ish, maybe January 25. It's going to be about 2 years before the masses really catch on. Now, in our world, there's many people who have just, heard about it, but they haven't used it, or they have used it, but they don't really know how to use it. And there's, on and on and on, as I told my 1, 2, 3, 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. But keep in mind, there's many, I will say at this current moment, there's about 95% of people have not even heard about it in the world. So we're still extremely early, and this is people who live in tech. They are in the technology field, they're medicine, etc., etc. They haven't heard about it, so we're still in great standing. And you have the time to learn this, and keep in mind, because you have paid for the information, you took this information to heart, and you'll be able to apply it as you go out into the field. So you're still in great position whenever you're watching it. Don't worry, you're gonna be all right because you know how to use this technology, right? So, again, that's gonna be it for this section. Again, you can always come back to this section, if you've learned something, and also to the course. I'll be adding more and more information as time goes on, more and more episodes, about the current state of the ChatGPT landscape and how we can separate ourselves from the other blowjos out there who, are hearing about the technology and not wanting to invest in their learning. You invested in your learning, so I guarantee you that puts you in the top 1% of all people out there with ChatGPT knowledge. So own it, use it, and like I say, as time goes on, we're only going to separate ourselves and collect other people's checks. Not to be sinister, but it is what it is. And that's it for this section. Let's go on to the next.